Well, good day and welcome to you. It is May the 31st. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you happen to be. My name is Gary Willing. I want to welcome you to Search for Signs. And just point out, if you want to know more about this information, guess what? I have included links to websites that have wonderful background information about this. Now, I do want to thank everybody who commented. I want to address one comment in this video. It's coming from Xander the Great. And what did this person have to say? I've known Creme and followed his work. I must say, overall, his star signs are total rubbish. And probably the other things as well. Rays and initiations of the personality. He just had a good amount of imagination and a certain extent a quite average or good bookish knowledge. Okay. Is that even grammatically correct? Mainly Alice Bailey. Bailey is also a solid 5 out of 10 mark. Whew. In my opinion, he was 20% accurate, 80% otherwise, but Share International was his merchant stand. After all, it is up to people to be inspired or not. And then you included a YouTube link, which I must say, please don't include YouTube links or links to other sites. That's the reason why your comment first went into my spam folder. The only reason why I approved the comment was I wanted to talk about what you wrote. This sheik is much better and reliable when it comes to the externalization of the Messiah. He predicted Ukraine 20 years ago when Creme was speaking about meteorological phenomenons and called them UFOs from Mars and Venus. Rubbish 100%. All right. I could have predicted Ukraine 20 years ago. I mean, it was around 20 years ago, right? I'm kidding. I guess you're from England because you used rubbish twice. If you're from the United States, you'd probably only use that at least either not at all or maybe at the most once. But twice? Nah, you have to be from England, right? I'm kidding. So maybe you've known about this information for a long time. You know, I mean, your opinion of Benjamin Creme and your opinion of this other guy on this YouTube that you put the link to, which I actually watched the video of the guy, are just that, your opinion. You know, you're entitled to that opinion. In terms of the star-like luminary in which you're talking about, if you don't know, Benjamin Creme's master said in 2009 that eventually a miraculous-looking star-like luminary in the sky would start to appear. And it was supposed to herald Maitreya's first television interview, which it did. And it lasted for well over a year, from what I remember. But was it total rubbish? No, I saw it several times. It appeared in different parts of the sky. I even saw it move from one sky to another. I saw one time when I was driving on the interstate, it was massively big. And it almost looked like the size of a small comet. But it wasn't a comet. It was in the sky. I mean, it was huge. There was this other thing, and I can't remember where I read this, but it was an email that a business student at the University of Georgia, because I'm from Atlanta, he was taking an astronomy class, and he had an assignment. He had to look up in the sky at some time or whatever like this, and saw this thing, and wrote an email to his professor asking him what it was. And I never got a chance to read the response of the professor, but I think he kind of dismissed it a little bit. But the kid said something to the effect of, well, no, it's not Venus. It was in a different part of the sky than Venus. So anyway. So somebody else saw it, and there were videos on YouTube even that were starting to prop up that people who were starting to see this in the sky is either a strange shape, strange color, moved around a bit here or there, and were wondering what it was. And they didn't know anything about this information. And then, of course, it culminated, according to Benjamin Creme, as the Norwegian spiral, which was quite extraordinary and kept the media enthralled for at least 12 hours. Anyway. But you can see evidence of that on YouTube, too, and make up your own mind of what you think it might be. I think it was exactly what Benjamin Creme said it was. But UFOs are around, and they have a purpose, and that was one of the purposes of what they were talking about. But, of course, you have your opinion either way. Let's see. You know, in terms of Share International being his merchant stand, I'm assuming you're saying he got paid for it. You know, I knew Benjamin Creme for years. I talked to him by myself. I even drove him around when he came here to Atlanta, and he and I were by ourselves, and he never changed his tune on anything. And there were some things that he said to me that were hard for me to hear. They ruffled my feathers, as you would say, but looking back on it, he was right. And I learned a lot from it. It took me a while to learn from it, but I did. But he never changed his tune. He was quite honest, and I thought him to be quite sincere, because he never changed. Like I said, he never wavered on anything. He never went back and said, "I never said that." When you went back and read what he said exactly what he had said. He said, and so that, and I know for a fact that he didn't get any money off of any of his work, because when he came to Atlanta, we never paid him. He just volunteered his time. There was a love offering. We didn't charge any tickets, but there was a love offering donation. I was totally against that, spoke out against even asking people for donations at all. They went ahead and did it, but we didn't give him any money out of that. It went right back into the Atlanta group work. So, I don't really know where you're coming from with that. The other thing too is, let's just say for a second he did get money for this. None of his books were on the New York Times bestseller list, so they didn't make that much money, but with all the crap that he had to endure over the years that he was talking about Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom, giving up his work as an artist in order to do that, even if he did get paid, would it have been worth it? Man, he would have been better off, flipping burgers at McDonald's, really, to be honest with you. But no, he didn't get paid for any of that stuff. So, to say that, I don't agree with that one bit. Now, the other thing, too, that I wanted to say is, and you might have believed him at the time. You might have thought there might be some truth to this at the time. And then over the fact that you started to, some of the things that you thought that he said or you were expecting to happen didn't pan out and you got disillusioned. It's quite natural, right? A lot of people have. You're not unique in that at all. But, I know for myself, I never looked to his predictions as what's made him credible or not. It has to do with the teachings of what Benjamin Creme said, more so than anything else. And how detached he was in terms of presenting his information to people, just as you said, to be inspired or not, to believe it or not. That was his attitude the whole time. He never wavered from that. He never expected or demanded people to believe what he had to say. Even when he was speaking to somebody like me individually, away from anybody even seeing or hearing what he had to say to me, he had the same kind of detached kind of demeanor to him. And never asked me for anything, really, ever. So, like I said, I didn't fall into that trap. And I do think it's a trap to think about that stuff, because whether or not what you thought his predictions to be came true or not, some of them did, some of them didn't. Maybe some of them are yet to take place. Maybe some of them took place but looked differently than what you might have, or I might have expected them to look like. But it doesn't, I think, take away from this information at all. There's a lot going on in the world, and his concern was about the future of humanity, about peace. That was his concern. And that's what I think that I found myself aligning with him and this information with, was about that. And sharing that concern as he had that concern. So I think that's more important than just looking at a prediction about anything. Because anybody can make a prediction. And people think that the Simpsons are making these huge these predictions. Are they coming true because of the Simpsons saying it? No. It's just people looking back on something and going, oh, that's what he said. And okay, well, that makes sense to this. But anyway, I don't think there's much truth to that either. But anyway, like I said, teach their own. But thank you very much, Xander the Great, for your comment. Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.